You are tired. Not just the kind of tired that a good night's sleep can fix, but a deep, cellular exhaustion that sits in the marrow of your bones. You wake up, and the first thing you do is reach for your phone, flooding your brain with blue light and dopamine before your feet even touch the floor. You spend your day toggling between 100 different tabs, your attention span shattered into fragments. Feeling like a pilot trying to fly a plane through a hurricane with no instruments. You are overstimulated, yet underwhelmed. You are connected to everyone, yet you feel completely isolated. This is the condition of the modern human. We have become what neuroscientists call dopamine zombies, walking through life in a state of high, functioning anxiety, constantly waiting for the next notification, the next distraction, the next hit. But what if I told you that the cure for this modern plague isn't found in a pill, an app, or a new productivity hack? What if the operating system of your mind and body has a hidden safe mode of factory reset button that you have forgotten how to press? To understand how to activate this reset, we have to leave the noise of the city and the glow of the screens behind. We have to look at the story of a young man named Alex. Alex is you. He is me. He is the archetype of the seeker who has hit a wall. Back in the city, Alex was known for his potential, his brightness, his ambition. But slowly, a shadow fell over him. It wasn't a virus or a bacterial infection, it was a degradation of his life force. His skin turned gray, his eyes lost their luster, and his mind became a fog of worry and fatigue. The specialists offered him remedies that treated the symptoms, but ignored the root cause. They gave him potions to sleep and tonics for energy, but he remained hollowed out. He was suffering from what we might call total systemic burnout, a complete collapse of his physical and energetic integrity. Desperate and out of options, the locals pointed him toward a legend. They spoke of Dr. Saul, a recluse living in the high mountains, a man who was rumored to have cracked the code of human longevity. Dr. Saul wasn't just a monk in modern terms. He was the original biohacker. He understood the connection between the mind, the gut, and the nervous system centuries before Western science coined the terms. Alex packed his bag, leaving behind the safety of the known world, and began the climb. This journey is the same one you make when you decide to turn off your phone and sit in silence. It is the difficult, uphill battle against your own habits. The climb was brutal. Alex's lungs burned, his legs screamed, and his mind begged him to turn back. This is the resistance. Every time you try to change your life, your brain's amygdala, the fear center, will scream at you to return to comfort. But Alex pushed through the pain, through the storm, until he reached the cabin at the edge of the world. When Dr. Saul opened the door, he didn't look like a man who was aging, he looked like a man who was ripening. His eyes held a laser, like focus, a clarity that pierced right through Alex's exhausted facade. He didn't ask Alex what his symptoms were. He simply looked at him and said, "You have forgotten how to inhabit your own vehicle. Come in. The reboot begins now." What followed was not a series of magic tricks, but a systematic re-engineering of Alex's biology. Dr. Saul was about to teach him the protocols of the human machine. Dr. Saul sat Alex down in the garden. The air was thin and crisp. He poured tea, but he didn't let Alex drink it yet. He pointed to Alex's chest, which was heaving with shallow, panicked breaths. You breathe like a frightened rabbit, Sol observed. This is why your cortisol is spiking. This is why your body is stuck in a permanent state of fight or flight. Most people breathe just enough to stay alive, but not enough to actually live. They take short, shallow sips of air into their upper chest, signaling to their brain that they are in immediate danger. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, flooding the bloodstream with stress hormones. To heal, we must flip the switch. We must access the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Sol instructed Alex to inhale deeply through his nose, expanding not just his chest, but his diaphragm, his belly, and his lower back. This is what we now know as diaphragmatic breathing. By expanding the diaphragm, you mechanically stimulate the vagus nerve, which runs from your brainstem down to your gut. It is the brake pedal of the human body. Sol had Alex inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and exhale for a count of 8. This specific ratio is crucial. The long exhale signals to the brain that the threat is gone. It forces the heart rate to slow down. As Alex practiced this, minute after minute, hour after hour, something shifted. The static noise in his head began to clear. The tight knot in his stomach uncoiled. He wasn't just breathing air, he was modulating his internal chemistry. He was manually lowering his blood pressure and flushing out the cortisol that had been poisoning his tissues. Sol watched him and said, "The breath is the remote control for your brain. If you cannot control your breath, you cannot control your mind. You are merely a passenger in a runaway car. But when you master the breath, you climb into the driver's seat." Once the biological hardware was stabilized, it was time to address the software. The next morning, Sol introduced Alex to the second protocol, the void, or what we might call the cognitive defragmentation. They sat in silence. Alex closed his eyes, and immediately, his mind was assaulted. Thoughts of the past, worries about the future, regrets, fears, they all clamored for attention like 1,000 pop-up ads on a virus-ridden computer. This is what the ancients called the monkey mind, but today we can call it the default mode network, running unchecked. It is the brain's tendency to wander into negative rumination when left without a task. Alex tried to fight the thoughts to push them away, but Sol corrected him. "Do not fight the chaos," he said. "You are the sky. The thoughts are just clouds. The sky does not fight the clouds, it simply holds the space for them to pass." This is the essence of metacognition, thinking about your thinking. Sol was teaching Alex to disidentify from his thoughts. In neuroscience, this is the practice of strengthening the prefrontal cortex so it can inhibit the emotional reactivity of the limbic system. Alex learned to sit as the observer. He visualized his mind as a mirror. A mirror reflects fire, but it does not burn. It reflects a sword, but it does not bleed. It reflects the chaos of the world, yet remains pristine and unaffected. As Alex practiced this detached observation, the neural pathways in his brain associated with anxiety began to weaken, and the pathways associated with focus and emotional regulation began to strengthen. He was literally rewiring his brain structure, increasing the density of his gray matter. The mental fog that had plagued him for years began to lift, revealing a sharp, crystal clear intellect underneath. With the mind and breath aligned, Sol turned his attention to the fuel source. The third protocol was the integrity protocol. But this wasn't about dieting in the modern sense of calorie counting. This was about the biochemistry of information. Drewster's soul took Alex to the garden and showed him the plants. He explained that food is not just fuel, it is code. Every piece of food you put into your mouth sends a set of instructions to your dana. It tells your genes to express health or disease. It tells your hormones to balance or to fluctuate. The conventional diet had treated Alex's body like a trash can and filling it with processed, dead substances. Soul treated the body like a high-performance Formula One engine. They harvested fresh greens, roots, and fruits. Drewster's soul taught Alex the concept of the gut-brain connection. Long before we knew that 90% of the body's serotonin, the happiness molecule, is produced in the gut. Saul understood that a clean stomach leads to a clear mind. They ate in silence, chewing slowly. This wasn't just a ritual, it was a physiological necessity. Digestion begins in the mouth. By chewing thoroughly and eating in a state of calm, Alex was maximizing the absorption of nutrients and preventing the insulin spikes that lead to energy crashes. He learned to listen to his body's feedback loops. If a food made him feel sluggish, he eliminated it. If it gave him sustained energy, he kept it. He was running a scientific experiment with an N of 1 himself. As he cleaned up his diet, the inflammation in his joints disappeared, his skin regained its color, and his energy levels stabilized. He realized that he hadn't been sick, he had been poisoned by a mismatch between his biology and his environment. Then came the lesson of flow. The fourth protocol was the hydraulic system. Soul took Alex to the river. Water is the most abundant substance in your body, Soul explained. But most people are functionally dehydrated. They are like dried up riverbeds. But this wasn't just about drinking 8 glasses a day. It was about the quality and the movement of the fluids within. Soul taught Alex to move like water. They stood in the freezing cold stream. This was an ancient version of cold plunge therapy. The shock of the cold water constricted Alex's blood vessels, forcing blood to his core to protect his organs. When he stepped out, his vessels dilated, flushing fresh, oxygenated blood to every extremity. This vascular gymnastics strengthened his cardiovascular system and flooded his brain with norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that drastically improves focus and mood. Alex learned to visualize his blood, his lymph, and his energy flowing without obstruction. Stagnation is death. Flow is life. He practiced drinking water with intention, visualizing it hydrating his cells, understanding that on a molecular level. He was essentially an electric battery that needed water to conduct the charge. The brain fog that often comes from mild dehydration vanished completely. He felt fluid, adaptable, and resilient. The fifth protocol was the Kinetic Engine. For days, Alex had been sitting and breathing, but now it was time to move. The human body is designed for motion, yet modern life cages us in chairs for 12 hours a day. This sedentary lifestyle causes our fascia, the connective tissue wrapping our muscles, to stiffen and lock. We store trauma in our hips, our shoulders, and our jaws. Saul didn't just have Alex exercise, he had him engage in deep, primal movement. This wasn't about looking good in a mirror. It was about functional capacity. They climbed trees, lifted heavy stones, and practiced flowing movements. Saul explained that when you push your muscles to the point of failure, you create micro tears. This seems destructive, but it is the catalyst for growth. The body repairs these tears stronger than before. This is the principle of hypertrophy, and it applies to the mind as well. Growth only happens at the edge of discomfort. As Alex moved, he felt emotional blocks releasing. He realized that the body and mind are not two separate entities, they are one continuous loop. By strengthening his physical vessel, he was forging a mind of steel. He felt the rush of endorphins in Biohacking brain, derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for new brain cells. He was quite literally building a better brain through movement. As Alex's strength returned, Jar's soul introduced him to the subtle architects of nature, the chemical architects. This was the study of herbs and plants. But again, this wasn't tea magic, it was pharmacology. Jar Soul showed him valerian root for calming the nervous system, effectively acting on the same receptors as modern anti-anxiety medication, but without the side effects. He showed him echinacea for boosting the immune system's killer cells. Alex learned that for every ailment in the human body, nature had synthesized a molecule to treat it. He became an alchemist of his own biology. Then, the frequency tuned up. They went to a cave known for its echo. Jar's used sound bells, chanting, and the simple hum of the voice. Modern science tells us that everything in the universe is vibrating. Our brain waves oscillate at different frequencies. When we are stressed, we are in high beta waves. To heal, we need to drop into alpha and theta states. Jar Soul used sound to entice Alex's brain into these deeper, restorative states. It is the principle of entrainment. Just as a pendulum will synchronize with another pendulum, the brain will synchronize with a steady, rhythmic sound. Alex found that in the silence between the sounds, he could access a level of peace that was profound and unshakable. Finally, the integration. The eighth protocol was the source code connection with nature. Jar's soul took him deep into the ancient forest. He made Alex touch the trees, walk barefoot on the soil, and observe the fractals in the leaves. This is what we now call earthing or grounding. The earth carries a negative emotional charge literally. It is rich in electrons. When your bare skin touches the earth, you absorb these electrons, which neutralize the free radicals in your body that cause inflammation. It is most potent antioxidant available, and it is free. Furthermore, looking at the fractal patterns in nature, the self, repeating shapes of branches and ferns has been proven to lower cortisol levels in the observer within seconds. Our brains evolved to process these patterns. When we stare at the flat, hard geometry of buildings and screens, our brains work overtime. When we look at nature, our brains relax into their native state. Alex spent days in the forest, not doing, just being. He felt the dissolution of his ego, the small self that was obsessed with status, success, and validation. He realized he was part of a much larger system. This realization is the antidote to the loneliness and isolation of the modern world. After months of this rigorous training, Alex was transformed. He was no longer the gray, withered ghost who had stumbled up the mountain. He was vibrant, his eyes shone with a fierce intelligence, his body was lean and capable, and his mind was a fortress of calm. He sat with Jar's by the fire on his final night. He asked the mentor, "How can I thank you? How can I repay you for giving me my life back?" Jar's smiled, the firelight dancing in his eyes, and said, "You do not repay me. You pay it forward." The wisdom you have unlocked is not for you to hoard. It is for you to share. You must go back to the city. You must go back to the noise, the screens, the stress. But this time, you go back as a warrior, not a victim. You carry the stillness of the mountain within you. You have the protocols. You have the reset button. Now, go and show others that they do not have to live as zombies. They can wake up. Alex descended the mountain, but he didn't walkie, he flowed. He returned to the city, to his family, to the world of noise. But the noise could no longer touch him. He moved through the chaos with the precision of a sniper and the calm of a monk. He had mastered the art of being in the world, but not of it. He became a beacon for others, a living testament to the power of the human organism to heal itself when given the right inputs. So, here is the challenge for you, watching this right now. You do not need to climb a literal mountain. You do not need to find a bearded master in a cave. The mountain is here. The cave is the room you are sitting in. The master is the discipline you are capable of cultivating. You have the tools. You understand the breath, the mind, the fuel, the movement, and the connection. The question is not whether these techniques work. The science is settled. The question is, are you willing to turn off the autopilot? Are you willing to unplug from the matrix of distraction and plug back into the source of your own power? The biological reset is waiting for you. The download is complete. The installation requires only one thing: your action. Take a deep breath. Expand your diaphragm. Let the air fill your belly. Hold it. And as you exhale, let go of the old version of yourself. The reboot starts now. Welcome back to the land of the living.